Welcome one and all to the Cine Geeks podcast where movies, TV, and all things geek collide. It's November 3, 2023. I'm Roy, still joined by my lovely co-host Angela.
Hello!
Hey Angela. So for this episode, we will be talking about two great spooky movies that are coming out this weekend or already out this weekend. Perfect for still having some Halloween fun, even if October 31st has come and gone. First one is The Piper, and the other one is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes, but before we continue, we'd like to remind everyone who hasn't done so to follow our pod wherever you listen to podcasts, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Also, set your players to automatically download our new episodes so you don't miss out on our fun Cine Geek conversations.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Threads, X, aka Twitter, and Instagram, so you can join in on the Cine Geeks conversation. And as mentioned earlier, don't forget to bookmark our brand new website, cinegeekspod.com.
While you're at it, please also leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and a thumbs up on YouTube if you're enjoying hanging out with us, the Cine Geeks. That absolutely helps us out, so thank you very much in advance. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about our first movie for today, again entitled The Piper. When a composer is tasked with finishing her late mentor's concerto, she soon discovers that playing the music summons deadly consequences, leading her to uncover the disturbing origins of the melody and an evil that has awakened. So the movie is written and directed by Erlinger Thoroddsen and stars Charlotte Hope, Julian Sands, and Ava O'Flanagan. Okay, so Ange, what did you think of The Piper?
The Piper, parang siyang horror movie na ASMR.
Yes.
To put it in a nutshell.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's all about, the music. And as shown in the trailer, it's about an orchestra. And they encounter this parang demonic music. Yun yung implication dun sa trailer. They don't really reveal a lot, although it's pretty easy to, deduce na from the title itself that this is about the Pied Piper of Hamelin. And true enough, yun dun nga siya based, dun sa fairy tale na yun. And it is a dark fairy tale. I would have to agree. And it reminded me of the movies na, alam mo yung Hansel and Gretel na ginawang horror, or yung mga movies na parang mga fairy tale na ginagawa nila ng horror.
Oh,
nauso yun nung college.
Mga early 2010s, mga ganun.
Oo, yung, ano pa ba yun?
Yung Red Riding Hood.
Red Riding Hood na horror.
Yung Hansel and Gretel Vampire Hunters ba yun?
Oo, yun. So, parang...
May pinaghalo ko, yung ano siya, Hansel and Gretel, lumabas yun, tapos yung Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Yan.
Basta maraming mga ganon na parang fairy tale na ginagawang horror, na uso siya.
Throwback.
So, parang... Oo, ito nga parang throwback to that time. 'Di ba? Pied Piper of Hamelin. Tapos kahit yung mga rats was also hinted dun sa ano.
Sige, before we continue, hindi naman siguro spoiler to. Can you please give us a little bit of background kung ano yung kwento nung Pied Piper? Yung tale na yan.
So, Pied Piper of Hamelin is a German folk story or folklore. And it's about town na infested with rats. Okay? So, dahil infested sila sa rats, problem nila yon. Then, this mysterious man comes into the town and offers his services na, I can get rid of the rats for you, for a price. So, parang, in-offer niya yung sarili niya ng gig. Basically, dun sa town. So, yun, he did so. He did his job. So, he got rid of the rats through his flute. So, he's a piper, meaning he plays the flute, tapos he led the rats to the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos nalunod yung rats. So, narid na yung town ng rats. Kaso, yung town, hindi siya binayaran ng tama.
Mm-hmm.
So, nagalit syempre.
Tama.
Si sessionista. Kaya, syempre.
Sundot-sundot na nga lang yung gig niya, di pa siya babayaran ng tama.
Pinost siya sa Reddit.
Hindi, pinost siya sa Facebook.
Let's reklamo pare.
Bibigyan na nga kayo ng gig, ganyan pa kayo.
Nag-anonymous post. Ayan. Anyway, so dahil nga hindi siya binayaran, just like other fairy tales na parang Rumpelstiltskin, siningil niya sa ibang bagay na parang, I will get my payment one way or the other, pero I will get the thing that's most precious to you. Sabi niya dun sa town. Tapos, ang naging nung story, yung dark turn was, he played the flute and imbes na yung mga rats, ang kinuha niya is yung children.
Mga bata.
Children of the town. Tapos, lahat sila
tumalon sa kanya.
Tumalon sa lake.
Wow.
Yan.
Heavy.
Yun talaga yung fairy tale.
Solid.
Oo.
Mwah.
That's how I like my fairy tales. So, yeah, that's the story of Pied Piper of Hamelin.
So, hindi naman siya necessarily parang straight up na adaptation ng kwento. Hindi. Parang ang pinapakita dito is yung music na in question na ginawa nung late mentor nung bida natin is somewhat similar or at least parang inspired ang implication nung music na tinugtog ni Pied Piper in parang hypnotizing the children into following him.
I thought it gave a decent version or a modernized version of the Pied Piper of Hamelin story. Kasi mas nag-focus siya this time dun sa music and the demonic effects of it. And yung parang physical manifestation ng music dun sa mga taong nakikinig. Tapos iba-iba yung effect dun sa kids and sa adults. Ganon. And I like na they inserted a little bit of music theory dun sa story.
It's just a theory. A music theory.
Well,
I think okay.
Most listeners here or people who know me, they know that I am a singer. I have been a musician in the music industry for the longest time. Most of my life, actually. I got a lot of mga moments doon na very familiar sa mga musikero. Pero hindi naman na kasi ako orchestra. I played with a jazz band. So wala namang mga pyesa-pyesa ganon. Pero I know a lot of musicians who parang nakikita ko yung mga personalities nila dun sa member of the orchestra. And yun nga, heavy on musical theory to. So if you are a Conservatory of Music student, siguradong bumubula siguro yung bibig mo. Or the other way around. Malamang, galit na galit ka kasi mali yung pinagsasabi nila.
Pwede din. Actually, pwede din yan.
But yeah, I think this is a musical horror.
Parang ganun.
Pero musician horror. Hindi siya yung musical na may kanta-kanta.
Music theory horror.
Yeah.
It's a horror film for music nerds.
Yeah. What about you?
Ako, may sinabi ka kanina na parang siyang throwback to a certain point in time in terms of yung mga horror movies na lumabas.
Yeah.
Yung kung paano siya ka-simple, kung gaano siya ka-straightforward sa kwento. Kasi, yung sa panahon na to ngayon, yung mga horror movie natin, na siya hindi siya naging immune dun sa yung tatawagin kong Marvelization ng film industry. Kasi, isipin mo, yung Conjuring, may Conjuring 1, may 2, tapos may The Nun.
So, nagiging cinematic universe.
Oo, tapos may Annabelle. Tapos may The Nun 2, na para siyang, yun nga, nagiging cinematic universe siya And hindi na siya yung nagkakaroon tayo ng horror films na original idea or at least inspired by something na as timeless as a tale of the Pied Piper, itong The Piper. Ako naman, yung na-appreciate ko kung gaano ka siya ka-bare bones. Hindi siya masyadong lore-heavy. Hindi nga siya masyadong nag-focus doon sa kwento ng Pied Piper. Parang yung elements lang kinuha niya. Specifically yung how the music is hypnotic, na yung may evil nagmamanifest pag tuwing tinutugtog yun. Tapos ang pinaka-target ng tugtog is yung mga bata. Just like the tale. Pero hindi na siya go into parang sobrang maraming parallels. It tries to do its own thing. And I appreciated that naman, yung effort nung pagsusulat niya. Sa akin nga lang, ano lang siya, parang may mga points siya na sobrang kailangan ayusin yung pagsusulat. Kasi ang dami niya mga points na parang puro usap. Tapos wala masyadong dedication doon sa yung pag-thrill ng audience. Kasi this is supposed to be a horror movie. Pero parang ang lumalabas is 65% of the time, ang dami nag-uusap. Puro usap siya.
I agree.
Hindi siya yung masyadong nagfo-focus doon sa parang tinatakot ka niya or gugulatin ka niya. Towards the end, of course, yung climax niya, yung parang pinaka-big finale. Siyempre, ando na natin makikita yung kung ano yung evil na kalaban nung hero natin or heroine natin sa kwento. Pero yun na nga parang masyado na siyang late lumabas yung kalaban.
Oo.
'Di ba? May mga may mga parang teases, glimpses.
Maganda sana kung hinted na siya sa umpisa pa lang.
Or at least nakita na natin siya in some capacity.
Oo.
Hindi yung parang bigla na lang lalabas yung
Monster,
kalaban sa dulo. Although, sasabihin ko na yung entrance ni Monster was sarap. Buto-buto. Sarap. Anyway, yun. Sorry, you were saying? You're gonna say?
Alam mo, the villain reminded me of Vecna.
Ay, actually, oo nga. Ay, oo nga, no?
Diba?
Kaya wala pinapalag siya. Saan ko nga ba ito nakita? Ay, putik si Vecna.
Tapos it's also funny na Vecna is also parang
defeated by music.
Associated siya sa music, di ba?
Oo, tama.
Actually, you said something earlier na yung entrance nga ni villain, di ba? I think, first half of the movie, ang villain is the music itself. Yung pyesa. Oo. Tapos, second half, sa kanilang naging si Monster.
Kasi yun na nga, buti sana kung may by half Kaso parang lumabas na lang si villain dun sa last eighth nung scene
Pero, he's creepy.
Oo.
Parang ang Vecna.
Oo, nung lumabas siya. No, parang, ang sa akin nga lang, sana we spent much more time with the monster terrorizing everybody.
Tsaka we know that he's ancient kasi nga Pied Piper.
Oh, yun.
So parang meron ka na kaagad reputation, 'di ba? So just mere presence na para siyang Jack the Ripper presence ganun.
Pero kasi, ang sa akin lang we don't spend that much time with the evil on screen, yung implied evil, for us to even parang, I won't say care. Kasi, syempre, yun naman you watch a horror film, you sign up for the premise, no matter how crazy it becomes. Pero, ito, ikukumpara ko siya sa isang parang medyo indie-ish, actually, indie talaga na datingan na sine, na sobrang effective niya, yung Talk to Me. Yun, pinanood natin yun. Ano siya? Yung
masterclass naman kasi yun.
Pero, kaya nag-work yung horror ng Talk to Me kasi maya't maya, nire-remind niya na andyan dyan yung kalaban sa paligid.
Hindi nawawala yung presence
ng evil. Ito kasi, ang daming stretches na parang, although sige, we'll look at it that way na sabi mo na, it's the music yung kalaban. Pero masyadong masyadong esoteric. Masyado siyang parang highfalutin yung ganong concept.
True.
Na if it's a horror film for general distribution, kailangan mo pa rin mag-appeal doon sa mass taste na it's a horror film, dapat meron tayong boogeyman.
True.
Na nakikita.
I can compare that to The Happening, M. Night Shyamalan, na making Air the villain. Ganon.
Parang not necessarily the comparison you want for your movie.
Pero yun nga it's
ganon,
very
tama.
Abstract, very esoteric yung gustong konsepto. Napaka-high concept masyado.
Oo. Na parang, siguro tayo, sige, kakagatin natin yung concept na yun. Parang, ay, nakakatakot yung tugtog. Ay, ako pa ganyan tugtog. Pero syempre, give us a monster to be afraid of. Hindi lang siya yung parang tama ka na abstract concept music. Music, nobody can be afraid of music. I mean, not in anybody I know is afraid of music. Pero tangibility nung evil, it's a little too little too late na siya.
Yeah.
Yun.
I wish na they doubled down na lang talaga on the Pied Piper model. Kumbaga, just the Pied Piper is the evil thing that's lurking, di ba?
Pero kasi natutuwa kasi ako na yung talagang pinili talaga niya na gawing yung music yung kalaban kasi, I mean, without getting into spoilers, pero I will give the movie this. Napaka-inventive nung kanyang way ng pag-defeat ng evil. Okay? Music theory nerds and conservatory students will either love it because it's, okay, that's smart, or hate it because parang, oh, God.
Actually, napalola ko dun eh.
Oo. Yun, ikaw, part ka na dong, ano, parang, eye roll. Parang, yeah. Okay, sige, naisingit na kahit pa paano.
Oo, kulit lang. Ang kulit
ko,
lang naging resolution sa dulo.
Parang, ay, okay. Nga ba, ba't di nga ba nila naisip yung gawin ganun lang, di ba? Parang tuloy pagdating sa dulo, parang, ang bobo ko naman, hindi ko naisip na, okay, yun lang pala yung pantalo dun sa kanya.
I think the only downside of this movie is it couldn't pick a lane. Kung music ba yung villain o si Pied Piper.
Monster talaga.
Kasi kung music talaga yung gagawin niyang villain, you can play with that eh. Pwede mo pa sanang gawing dark na talagang music yung talagang hypnotize and talagang meron namang studies na music has psychological and mental effect on
yun
people.
Na nga, gawan mo ng tangible na effect yung tugtog. Halimbawa, example, maging may isang character doon, nadinig niya yung tugtog. Dapat ipapakita na nag-iba na yung behavior niya. Maging violent siya after hearing the music. We get one moment there na ganung may example na ganung parang nangyari, pero hindi na siya binalikan again. And
sayang,
sobrang hand-waving biglang, parang essentially ang ginawa lang nung isang character, inalog lang niya yung isang character na nakakadinig ng tugtog, tapos nawala na yung effect ng tugtog. Yun, inalog lang siya.
Ganun lang pala,
lang pala.
Parang naalala mo yung sa Shake, Rattle, and Roll? Yung ref. Frigidaire pala, Frigidaire. Yeah. Na yung tumalo. Para ref. Tanggalin mo sa saksak. Yun lang. Parang ganun ka,
Why didn't anybody think of that before? Parang siyang, sige. This movie is either too smart or too dumb to be a horror movie. Yun siya. Pero tama ka dun, sabi mo na, it can't pick a lane eh. Kasi even the dumbest horror movies can still give you a bit of a thrill. And even the smartest horror movies can bore you. Mm-hmm. And even, yun na nga, parang may mga smart horror movies na kailangan, hindi mawawala dapat yung thrill factor. Sobrang walang thrill factor na itong.
Masyado siyang nagre-rely dun sa, although, I would give props to the sound design and the scoring kasi talagang intense and creepy talaga yung music. Pero, you can't make a horror movie out of just that.
Masyado siyang high concept. Yun, to be a horror movie.
Yeah, pero yun talagang resolution eh. Musicians will know. Musicians know.
If you're a musician, the ending of this movie will either make you go woo or make you go whoa. Yun. You decide.
But it was fun. It was fun. I appreciate movies like this, especially horror, na hindi nagpo-perpetuate ng franchise.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sorry. It just won't go up on demand.
You need professional help.
I agree, but who? It's embarrassing to talk about.
You need the Festive Foreign Film Fans podcast. They're experts in sagging cheer, also known as SC. They can get your Christmas spirit to rise immediately.
Wow, I can feel it growing already. Enhanced euphoria, prolonged generosity, and decreased stress and worry may occur from 4F exposure. Patients should not listen to the Festive Foreign Film Fans podcast if holiday activity is inadvisable due to lack of humor or insensitivity. Patients should call their doctor if the festive spirit lasts more than 4 hours. He'll be missing a sick Christmas party.
Yun, too.
Na binalik niya yung trend ng mga fairy tale na ginagawang horror movies because essentially, those fairy tales are actually creepy and dark. Maganda siyang basis ng mga horror movies eh.
Tama.
So, I'll give it that.
Okay. I guess too. Ako din. Parang, sige.
Yeah, yun na yung final thoughts ko dyan.
Okay.
Okay?
Sige.
Let's go ahead.
Let's go ahead and talk about our second movie for this episode, Five Nights at Freddy's.
A troubled security guard begins working at Freddy's Fazbear's Pizza. During his first night on the job, he realizes that the night shift won't be so easy to get through. Pretty soon, he will unveil what actually happened at Freddy's. The movie is directed by Emma Tammy from a script by Scott Cawson, Seth Kudebak, and Emma Tammy. The film stars Josh Hutcherson, Piper Rubio, Matthew Lillard, and Elizabeth Lail. So,
Okay.
Roy, what did you think of Five Nights at Freddy?
Huh. Okay. For full disclosure, I haven't played the games that this movie is based on.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
based on a game.
Yes, yun na. First natin yun. First fact. This movie is based on a franchise of video games called Five Nights at Freddy's. So basically, yung premise niya is you work there as a security guard. Binabantayan mo yung mga security camera nung Freddy Fazbear's restaurant. Tapos essentially, yung pinaka parang conceit nung game is it's a jump scare game. So parang lipat-lipat ka ng camera ganyan, tapos biglang makikita mo yung mga animatronics nung Freddy Fazbear, biglang nagugulatin ka na lang. So parang kasi kailangan mong habulin kung saan sila papunta.
Para siyang found footage style kasi
Na game.
security cameras yung ano mo.
Yan. So, well, to be honest, that's as much knowledge I have of the games itself. Pero what I would say is, even if hindi ka fan nung games, if you're not a fan of the games, you will still find so many things to enjoy from this movie. Namely, I appreciated how well made the animatronics were for the titular characters, yung si Freddy and the other characters, si Freddy, si Foxy, si Chica, si
Bunny?
Si Bunny, tsaka yung Cupcake.
Bad Cupcake?
Yun. Tsaka yung hindi pala, yung si Balloon Boy, palabas-labas lang sa bigla. Pero yun, yung mga animatronics, I mean, if it weren't listed in the credits, nagawa siya ng Jim Henson Workshop, I would think na CGI siya. Pero seeing na they're real animatronics talaga, parang ang galing yung pagkakagawa nila. Sobrang...
Real animatronics yun?
Oo.
As in, walang tao sa loob?
Hindi, animatronics meaning parang parang controlled na siya, pero may mechanism siyang in place.
Pero
Hindi
walang
siya
tao sa
CGI.
loob?
Wala. I don't think meron. I don't think may ganun ka
Animatronics
meticulous.
is purely mechanical, di ba?
Remote controlled. Yun.
Oo.
So, yung pagkakagawa niya is
Ang galing.
one of the best animatronics I've ever seen on film. Napaka-expressive nung mga characters. Ang galing nga eh. And props also din kay Josh Hutcherson.
He carried this movie on his
Dalang-dala
back.
niya talaga yung sine. And also yung little girl, si Piper Rubio. Yung kanyang little sister dito. Yun din yung yung isang strength nitong ginawa ng sine. May temptation na parang, especially kung it's a game franchise that has a very large following, na people will expect that there's a certain story na susundan ng sine. So parang siyang kung anong ginawa nila sa Assassin's Creed, almost ganun na lang. Pero ang na-appreciate ko dito is they took time to actually craft a well-made story. A story that has so much heart. And hindi lang siya parang naisingit lang para lang magkaroon ng Five Nights at Freddy's na sine. Yung pagkaka-insert niya doon sa lore, if I may say so, doon sa lore ng video game itself, makes a ton of sense.
Yes.
Hindi lang siya yung parang ginawang stand-in para doon sa player itong character ni Josh Hutcherson.
Hindi siya parang Resident Evil na talagang si Claire Redfield, Jill Valentine, or talagang sila yon.
Oo, hindi eh. Hindi din siya, well, actually yun sa Resident Evil, kung tama yung recollection ko, gumawa sila talaga ng bagong character doon, yung kay Mila Jovovich. May Claire and Leon na lumabas later on. Hindi siya part ng game, si Mila. I also appreciate yung what I would say were possible Easter eggs of the game, kasi nung pinanood natin to, meron tayong kasabay na parang ang daming mga super fans nung games itself. So, me, being somebody na doesn't know anything about the games, parang I was enjoying the call out or the callbacks, the Easter eggs to the games vicariously through them. Kasi tuwing milalabas na parang ganito, sila, oh my God! Tapos bigla may yung... kahit
may mga super fans tayo kasama.
Kahit, mayroon din mga lumalabas na mga cameo
Yung mga game personalities.
Mga YouTubers and mga streamers nitong Five Nights at Freddy's. Meron silang mga may isa ako na-recognize kasi hindi lang siya sa game naggagawa ng YouTube. Pero yung isa, mas talagang, I think, streamer talaga siya ng Five Nights na game. Tapos nung lumabas yung galaw, mga oh my God! Talagang
mind blown
lost
sila
their shit talaga dun. Tsaka higit sa dulo.
By the way, just to go back
to Resident Evil.
Yes, you're right. Mila Jovovich portrayed Alice and she was made originally for the film.
Resident Evil, yeah. So yun nga, na-appreciate ko na gumawa sila ng original characters or at what would amount to, original characters that's has a place or a placeholder pa rin doon sa lore. And that would be attributed to the script being written by the creator of the game. Itong si Scott Cawthon. And siya din yung nag-produce ng game. And I appreciate na the people involved, they made sure talaga to make this movie with the fans in mind. Ako, I am a fan of so many movies. I am a fan of so many fandoms, franchises. And anytime na I can see that the film or even a TV show, any form of media, anytime that you see na there's heart, care, and passion na dedicated to making something really appeal to not just the people na hindi fan, pero even to the diehards, that's a win in my book talaga. Ikaw, what did you think about the movie?
For me, yes, I appreciate video game movie na that paid attention to the story. Kasi ako, I'm coming from the lens of somebody who hasn't played the game. So, I'm appreciating this purely as a movie. Okay? So, yeah, maganda yung story niya na I didn't have to research about the game. Actually, it made me curious about the game. So, I think that's the best result out of making video game movies, diba? It brings in new gamers or new players. So, the characters were very relatable and you root for the protagonists because fleshed out yung characterization nila. Actually, lahat ng characters walang tapon eh. So, they all had a part up until the end. Tapos, yung details when it comes to the personality traits of the sister and yung past ni main protagonist ni Josh Hutcherson named Mike.
Si Mike.
So even his hung up yung struggle niya played into the story. Hindi lang siya para gawing troubled protagonist lang siya or troubled soul. So, yon, maganda din yung reveal.
Oo, actually natatawa nga ako kasi yung reveal dun sa dulo. Kahit yung mga super fans mind blown eh.
It was a very formulaic movie pero in the best ways possible.
Oo. Kasi ito yung tipo ng sine na parang, or sine based on something na if it's not broke, the source material, why do you have to quote-unquote fix it by interjecting your views? I mean, I'm talking about yung other creators, other showrunners in terms of TV show. Case in point, earlier this year, lumabas yung Super Mario Brothers movie. The reason why that made $1 bajillion is because it just basically told a Super Mario Brothers story. Na talagang parang minsan nga ang feeling mo at pinapanood mo, tinransplant lang nila mula sa video game. Yung kwento and yung visuals talaga. They didn't try to do anything new. They didn't try to parang
reinvent.
Hindi katulad nung nabalitaan natin na parang ito, Witcher season ano ba yung lalabas? 3 ba yun?
I think
Basta
so. I haven't followed na.
Yun. Kasi yun na nga eh. Yung sa Witcher sa Netflix, they lost Henry Cavill. Why? Because, essentially, na-force out siya nung showrunner kasi ayaw nung showrunner na mag-stick dun sa lore. Diba? Na parang, parang medyo na ano lang ako eh. And siguro I'm thankful na medyo nababawasan na kasi nako-call out na yung mga ganong klaseng quote-unquote creatives in the industry. Pero ang dami-daming mga ganong klaseng creatives na they want to use established IP as a soapbox for their stand-on issues. Na parang no.
Ang pinaka-worst thing pa is gagamitin siya politically.
Oo.
Nakakainis yun. Well, wag na tayong lumayo. Superman ni Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Oo.
Diba? Parang ginawa mong dark yung Captain America ng DC.
Oo. Gustong gawin ni Zack Snyder na parang mouthpiece niya yung sine for how he sees saturated
worldview
na ng,
niya,
na parang what is a hero ba talaga? Parang
yung existentialism niya, nilalagay niya dun sa character na dapat ang struggle lang yung double life niya.
Yun lang. Oh.
'Di ba? Yun lang naman yung ni Superman na hindi siya human, he's superior pero he wants to be one of us. Tapos yung Clark Kent and yung Superman na persona na nag-get in the way with his love story with Lois Lane. Yun lang naman yung pinaka-story nun
Yun
ang most quintessential Superman
Dapat tas ito pa nakakatawa no sa sequel nun. Parang ginawa pa niyang tech bro si Lex Luthor. Na parang, okay, sige, ano ba to? Sa 1, nag-comment ka na, ano ba yan? Napaka-hero worship naman natin. Do the heroes deserve our worship? Parang ganon. Tapos sa 2, tech bros are bad. Parang, okay.
Parang ginagawa nilang statement
Yun
no?
na, oo. And na-appreciate ko dito na sa Five Nights at Freddy's, sa side ng mga IP na mga movies na just straight up respects the source material.
Yes.
Based on yung what I've seen and read before we did our podcast, ang daming mga super fans, ang daming mga YouTubers na talagang na-appreciate nila kung gaano ka nag-make ng effort to be faithful to the source material yung sine. And,
the best movies, the best video game movies are those who stay true to their source material.
Sonic. Yan.
Ayun, Sonic.
Sonic is
a very simple character.
Simple, straight up sine. Talagang walang problema. Ito, Detective Pikachu. Detective Pikachu literally transliterated the story of the game into a movie. Yung, by the way, kung hindi nyo alam, may game talaga na Detective Pikachu.
Yes, of course.
So talagang yung...
Di ba nga gagawa na pala nila ng movie yung Luigi's Mansion?
Yun, nakapila na yun.
Oo.
Di ba? Sometimes the people who love these IPs, they just want their source material respected. Keep these IPs far away from soapbox, quote-unquote, creatives. Yan. Kung talagang gusto nila na mag-make ng statement yung gawa nila, then just make something else, original. Walang titigil sa kanila. Pero ako, as far as video game movies go, Five Nights at Freddy's is one of the better adaptations in a long time. Talaga. Kahilera siya ng Sonic 1 and 2. Kahilera siya ng Super Mario Brothers movie. And that's a very, very short list. Detective Pikachu, yun. Kaya siya. Hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit ang baba ng Rotten Tomatoes na itong sine na to.
The same way na mababa din yung critics reviews ng Super Mario, di ba? Marami nagpan doon. Pero sobrang, as a Super Mario fan, as a Nintendo fan, sobrang tuwang-tuwa ako dun sa movie na yun.
Sometimes, there are days where your soul absolutely needs a Killers of the Flower Moon. Talaga. Kailangan mo yun Pero may mga araw na gusto mo lang manood ng Five Nights at Freddy's. Gusto mo lang mag-enjoy. Yun lang. Hindi naman lagi lahat kailangan magnum opus ala Martin Scorsese.
Nakakatuwa nga na nakakakita na ako ulit ng mga genre films na hindi Marvel-esque. Katulad nung sinabi mo kanina at the beginning, di ba? Na parang ang daming parang elements on building a franchise. Hindi ganon.
Although, wag naman nating sabihin na immune itong si FNAF dito sa...
F na F.
Huwag na sabihin immune si F na F sa sequel baiting. Kasi, yes, there is. Okay? May post-credit scene siya. So, be sure to don't leave the movie house right away. Pero kasi, you know na it's expected because it's a long-running video game franchise. So, there are other elements to the story na hindi pa lumalabas.
Yes.
Like, for example, kanina may nakita akong isa na sinabi daw na analog siya ng isang character dito. Ayun.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Pero magkakaroon siya ng bigger antagonistic presence in the future. Yung mga ganung...
Acceptable, sequel baiting. Parang nung pinakita si...
pinakita si Knuckles sa...
Si Knuckles yun.
Yun. Nung sa una. Yun lang.
Na parang it is expected.
Na okay. Tapos yung pinakita din si Tails na I gotta warn Sonic. Okay.
Ayun, si Tails at saka si Knuckles. Yun yung parang very tasteful sequel baiting.
Hindi, sorry pero sige, konting tangent lang. Yung balik dun sa parang yung marvelization ng lahat ng mga pop culture ngayon. Yun nga, na-appreciate ko na bumabalik tayo dun sa medyo toned down na pagsi-sequel bait na hindi katulad nung parang Marvel na ang dami-daming pinapromise. Tapos nag-under-deliver na.
Oo.
Sobrang...
Di ba nga, Echo, si Agatha Harkness.
Oh, di ba?
Yung mga ganon na
Ano nangyari
napaka-unnecessary.
Hindi mo nga alam kung lalabas pa yung dalawang yun eh.
Kasi
May Ironheart pa.
They
Diyos ko,
over-promised. That's it.
Oo. Ito, and to be honest, I mean, we are gonna review this. The Marvels coming out next week.
And Loki, when it
wraps up next week
Yes.
too. Okay, so essentially, ang ating magiging next Friday's episode is
Marvel.
A huge Marvel episode. Pero unless bumalik si Marvel sa kanyang ways of tastefully building the story and hindi niya tayo ini-inundate ng parang ito yung mangyayari. Tapos biglang, nangyari? Wala.
Oo. Kasi, ayan medyo natabangan na it's not that big of an event as before. Yung mga Marvel things ngayon, series and movies.
Alam mo, may theory lang ako kung bakit na tumabang na tayo sa Marvel. Kasi merong Disney Plus. Napapanood na natin siya every week. May Marvel tayo every week. Hindi katulad nung dati na parang merong 3-4 months na wait between Marvel movies. Wala tayong panakip butas na in the middle. Talagang aabangan natin siya.
Kumbaga parang sa dating they're too available.
Oo.
Kaya you don't long for them, you don't miss them.
Oo, para silang
They're always there.
tuwing parang araw-araw na lang date kayo. Parang, huy, maganda naman kayo. Pahinga naman.
May sawa factor.
Sawa factor na siya. Pero yun na nga, buti na lang may mga ganito pa ring IP na hindi pa na masyadong nagagalaw. Like yung FNAF or F na F.
F na F.
Oo. And I'm excited where this goes. Talaga. I wouldn't actually say na horror movie siya. Mas more siyang suspense thriller lang. Yan siya. Enjoy pa rin. It's R13 by the way, so don't even think of bringing little children. Please lang. Pero 13 teenagers, especially fans of F na F, will really love this talaga. They're over the moon.
Fun na fun.
Yan. So, Five Nights at Freddy's is F na F, fun na fun.
Yeah.
Yan.
By the way, disclaimer, the studios neither paid nor sought out the reviews you just heard. They are hearing our feedback about the movies the same time as you are.
Okay, so that's it for The Piper and Five Nights at Freddy's. If you have seen any one or all of these movies, please share with us with what you thought of them by commenting on our social media pages. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and X, aka Twitter, at CineGeeksPod. Also, we are also on the World Wide Web na.
Yep.
www.cinegeekspod.com,
where we put up our written reviews.
Yes, so we'll try to have a written review of these two movies as well.
Yep.
Pero for the website, expect more news. More geek news, movie news, especially ngayon.
Yes.
Medyo nag-heat up na yung SAG-AFTRA talks again.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a bit update lang dun sa naging WGA SAG-AFTRA episode natin. Mabilis lang na nagkaroon na ng deal yung Writers Guild. So, they're working again.
Oh, that's good.
Yung
That's
actors,
good news.
Yung actors na lang talaga. Sila na lang yung inaabangan na mag-take ng deal. And
That's one of our first episodes. We talked about that.
Way back when? Few months ago.
July?
I think. Mga ganun.
Before Cinemalaya.
Tama. So, will the actors take the deal? So,
Deal or no deal.
Deal or no deal. Abangan niyo yung write-up natin about that. Again, www.cinegeekspod.com. And
also, set your players to automatically download our new episodes so you don't miss out on our fun Cinegeek conversations. And while you're at it, leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and a thumbs up on YouTube if you absolutely enjoyed this episode.
yes, so for my co-host Ange, this has been Roy. Thank you once again for listening to the Cinegeeks podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide.